Han could not believe his eyes. After years of silence, the deep space scanners had picked up something. Not just something. A ship. An alien ship. "Sir, you need to see this," Han said, his voice steady despite his racing heart. As the lead xenobiologist on Earth's orbital defense platform, he had trained for this moment his whole life. Station Commander Lee walked over, her eyes widening at the screen. "Is that what I think it is?" "Yes. First contact, sir. They're sending a signal." The large screen on the wall flickered to life. Standing before them was a tall, thin being with pale blue skin and large, dark eyes set wide apart. Its neck was long, and its ears twitched constantly, as if listening for danger. "People of Earth," the alien spoke in perfect English. "I am Ambassador Thelos of the Galactic Council. We come in peace and wish to open talks." 3 hours later, Han stood in the docking bay as the alien ship connected to the station. His hands shook slightly. Years of study, of wondering what alien life might look like, and now he would see it with his own eyes. The airlock doors slid open. 6 aliens stepped through. They were even taller than they had appeared on screen, at least 7 feet high. They moved with grace, but also caution, their large eyes constantly scanning the area. "Welcome to Earth Station 1, Commander Lee said with a small bow. Ambassador Thelos returned the gesture but did not step any closer. "We are pleased to make official contact. The Galactic Council has been aware of your world for some time, but our protocols required waiting until you developed sufficient technology." Han noticed something odd. The aliens kept their distance. They also carried small devices that beeped softly, which they waved around the docking bay. "Is something wrong?" Han asked. Thelos turned those large eyes toward him. "Just standard contamination checks. Your world has unique biological properties that require caution." Han was assigned to show the visitors around the station, while Commander Lee and Earth's diplomatic team prepared for formal talks. As they walked, Han could not help but notice how jumpy the aliens were. They startled at small noises. They refused to sample any Earth food. And they asked many questions about Earth's animals. "These creatures," Thelos said, pointing to a picture of lions on the station's common room wall, "they eat other animals." "Yes," Han replied. "Many Earth animals eat other animals. We call them predators." All 6 aliens seemed to shudder slightly. "And humans? Your diet includes—" "We're omnivores," Han explained. "We eat plants and animals." The aliens exchanged looks that Han couldn't read. Later, in a private meeting with Earth officials, Ambassador Thelos explained their presence. The Galactic Council includes over 300 spacefaring species. Most live in harmony. We have come to evaluate Earth's readiness to join our community. "Evaluate?" asked Jin, Earth's chief diplomat. "Yes. Not all species are." Thelos paused, searching for words. "Not all evolutionary paths lead to compatible societal values." Han noticed the ambassador's eyes darting to a security officer's sidearm, then to a nature documentary playing silently on a screen in the corner. It showed a wolf pack hunting. "We will begin formal evaluation tomorrow," Thelos said, turning away from the screen. "I should warn you, some council members expressed concerns about Earth even before our arrival." "What kind of concerns?" Jin asked. "Your planet's biological history is unusual compared to most council worlds." Thelos's ears twitched rapidly. Most spacefaring species evolved as what you might call prey animals, creatures that survived by cooperation, hiding, and flight from danger. Han suddenly understood the aliens' nervous behavior. "But not humans," he said quietly. "No," Thelos agreed, looking directly at Han with those huge, wary eyes. "Not humans. That is precisely what we need to discuss." As the meeting ended, Han watched the aliens hurry back to their ship, refusing an offer to visit Earth's surface. He realized with a chill that they weren't just cautious. They were afraid. Jin sat at the large round table, trying to keep her face calm. Inside, she was anything but calm. The meeting had been going for 3 hours, and with each minute, things got worse. "Earth must be quarantined," said the tall, thin alien from the Morax system. His fur rippled with fear. Their whole solar system should be off-limits. Jin looked around the room. The Galactic Council chamber was huge, with seats for over 300 different alien species. Most seats were filled today. All eyes were on the humans. "This request is extreme," Jin said. "Humans have done nothing wrong. We have followed all your contact rules." Ambassador Thelos stood up. Unlike yesterday, he seemed less afraid and more official. "We understand your confusion, Representative Jin, but you must understand our concerns." The large screen on the wall lit up. It showed scenes from Earth: a lion chasing a gazelle, wolves hunting in a pack, a hawk swooping down on a rabbit. With each new image, the aliens in the room made small noises of fear. "These are normal Earth animals," Thelos explained to the Council. "What humans call predators. They kill and eat other living things." "Many planets have meat-eaters," Jin said. "Not like Earth," said another alien with pale green skin. "Most worlds have small hunters that eat insects or fish. Earth has large, smart hunters that chase their food, that work together to kill. That is rare in the galaxy." Jin finally began to understand. These aliens didn't just fear humans because we ate meat. They feared us because we came from a world full of hunters. "And look at human history," Thelos continued. The screen showed warriors from different time periods. Roman soldiers, medieval knights, modern soldiers. Their entire history is filled with fighting, hunting, and war. The room filled with nervous whispers. Jin glanced at Han, who sat behind her taking notes. His face was pale. An alien with 4 arms stood up. "I propose Earth be classified as a Class 5 dangerous evolution planet. Full quarantine, no space travel beyond their system." "That's not fair." Jin stood up. "You can't judge us by our past or by the animals on our planet. Judge us by what we do now." From the back of the room, a new voice spoke. "I agree." All heads turned. A stocky alien with thick gray skin walked forward. Unlike the others, he moved with confidence. "I am Karo, from the Dexar system," he said. "My people also evolved from omnivores. Not pure predators, but not pure plant-eaters either. And we have been valuable council members for centuries." Karo looked at Jin. "The humans deserve a fair evaluation, not fear-based judgment." Ambassador Thelos seemed unhappy, but nodded. "What do you suggest?" "Let them prove themselves," Karo said. "Run the standard tests. See if their predator instincts can be controlled by their higher thinking." The council talked among themselves for several minutes. Finally, Thelos turned to Jin. "Very well. Instead of immediate quarantine, we will conduct a full species evaluation. But until then, no human ships may travel beyond your solar system, and council members may choose whether to visit Earth." Jin nodded. It wasn't perfect, but it was better than quarantine. After the meeting, Jin found Karo waiting in the hallway. "Thank you for supporting us," she said. Karo looked at her with eyes that were not afraid, but not entirely comfortable either. "I meant what I said about fairness," he replied. "But I should warn you. Many council species evolved as prey animals. Their ancestors spent millions of years running from creatures very much like yours." "We're not animals," Jin said firmly. "No," Karo agreed. "But you might be something even more concerning to the council." "What's that?" "Animals that hunt are dangerous," Karo said. "But animals that hunt and can build spaceships, that terrifies them." He paused. "And truthfully, it concerns me too." As he walked away, Jin realized their problems were just beginning. They needed to prove humans were more than just Earth's cleverest predators. Dr. Sue stared at her computer screen in disbelief. For 3 days straight, she had been studying the data from the Galactic Council. As Earth's top evolutionary biologist, She had been given access to information about alien life forms across the galaxy. What she found shocked her. "This can't be right," she said to herself, rubbing her tired eyes. Her office door opened, and Commander Dai walked in. His uniform was crisp, his face serious. "Please tell me you have good news," he said. Sue shook her head. "I'm afraid not. In fact, what I've learned might make things worse." She pressed a button, and a large screen on the wall lit up. It showed different alien species with their evolutionary trees. "Look at this," Sue pointed. "The Astrari, like Ambassador Thelos, evolved from herd animals similar to our deer. The Morax evolved from something like prairie dogs. The Zentari are basically descended from something like rabbits." Dave frowned. "So they all came from prey animals. We knew that already." "Yes, but look at the numbers." Sue pulled up a chart. Out of 312 spacefaring species in the Galactic Council, 286 evolved from pure herbivores. Another 20 evolved from omnivores that mostly ate plants and small insects. Only 6 species, including Kuro's people, evolved from true omnivores. "And predators?" Dai asked. "0, Sue said quietly. "Not one current council species evolved from apex predators." Dai sat down heavily. "And humans?" Sue clicked to a new image. "The human evolutionary tree. We're descended from primates that were omnivores, but our distant ancestors were pursuit predators. We evolved to run long distances to tire out prey. We developed tools specifically to hunt. We have forward-facing eyes for depth perception to catch moving targets. So we're the only predator-derived species they've met. Not the only one they've ever met," Sue said. "I found references to others in their historical data, but none are currently in the Council." Dai's face darkened. "What happened to them?" Sue hesitated. "I don't know for sure. The records aren't clear." A knock at the door interrupted them. Han walked in, looking worried. "Sorry to interrupt, but there's something you both need to see." He placed a small device on the table, and it projected a 3D image of an Earth forest. Then it zoomed in to show a wolf pack hunting a deer. "The Council has been studying Earth's predators," Han explained. "They're especially interested in pack hunters like wolves, lions, and early humans. They keep using a phrase I don't understand. Cooperative predation." Sue nodded. "That's what makes Earth's predators so effective. They work together to hunt. Most predators in the galaxy are solitary hunters of small prey. The idea of predators that cooperate is—" She paused. "Terrifying to them," Dai finished. "Exactly," Han said. "And humans are the worst nightmare. Predators that not only cooperate, but build advanced technology." Sue moved to her computer and pulled up a new image. It showed humans throughout history. Hunters with spears, farmers with tools, soldiers with weapons, and finally, astronauts with spaceships. "Our entire civilization is built on skills we developed as hunters," she said. "Planning, teamwork, tool-making, endurance, problem-solving." Dai stood up and paced the room. "So to the Council, we're not just unusual. We're a planet of monsters. To be fair," Han added, "most of them have never seen anything like us. Their worlds don't have many large predators at all. Their animals evolved to hide, run, or live in large groups for protection." Sue turned to Da. "What happens now?" "The Council's tests begin tomorrow," Da said grimly. "They want to evaluate our containment potential. Now I understand what they're really testing." "What's that?" Han asked. "Whether we can be trusted not to hunt them." Todd walked into the testing chamber feeling nervous. The room was large and white, with strange markings on the floor. Alien devices hung from the ceiling, blinking with colored lights. "Please stand in the center circle," said a voice from hidden speakers. Ty did as he was told. As a former military officer now working as a security consultant, he had been chosen to represent Earth in the Council's tests. He wasn't sure why they picked him, but Jin had stressed how important these tests were for Earth's future. Ambassador Thelos and 5 other aliens watched from behind a glass wall. They talked quietly among themselves while making notes on thin tablets. "We will now begin the evaluation," said Thelos through the speaker. "These tests help us understand your species' reactions and behaviors. Please respond naturally." A door opened, and a small robot rolled into the room. It moved toward Ty, then suddenly made a loud popping noise and shot out bright flashing lights. Ty jumped slightly but remained calm. "Interesting," Ty heard one alien say. Minimal startle response. Next, a hologram appeared. It showed a forest with movement in the bushes. Something was hiding there. Then a small animal, like a rabbit, ran across the open space. Todd watched, confused. Was he supposed to do something? Subject shows tracking eye movements, but no pursuit instinct activation. An alien noted. The tests became stranger. They played sounds of animals in distress. They showed holograms of small creatures running. They even released different smells into the room. After 2 hours, they moved to a new test. "This is a cooperation scenario," Thelos explained. The door opened again, and a small alien with 4 arms entered. It had large, nervous eyes and moved timidly. Ty recognized its species from the council meeting. "Please complete the puzzle together," Thelos instructed. A table rose from the floor with colorful blocks on it. The puzzle seemed simple. Arrange the blocks to match a pattern on the wall. As they worked, Ta noticed the small alien was shaking slightly. It kept glancing at him nervously. "I'm Ta," he said with a smile, trying to be friendly. "What's your name?" "Mirik," the alien whispered, keeping distance between them. They worked on the puzzle for several minutes. Suddenly, the lights went out. Loud alarms blared, and the room shook as if there was an earthquake. Without thinking, Ta moved quickly to Mirik and gently pulled the small alien under the table for protection. He positioned himself between Mirik and the falling debris from the ceiling. After 30 seconds, everything stopped. The lights came back on. "Test complete," announced Thelos. Ta helped Mirik up. "Are you okay?" The alien looked at him with confusion. "You protected me." "Of course," Ta said. "Isn't that what anyone would do?" Later, Ta overheard Thelos and another alien talking as they reviewed the test results. "It doesn't make sense," the other alien said. "Our models predicted aggressive response, or at minimum, self-preservation only. Instead, Subject Ta showed protective behavior toward Mirik. Perhaps it's a trick," Thelos suggested, "or an anomaly. The human's heart rate and brain patterns indicate genuine concern," said a third alien. "No signs of deception." Ta was escorted back to the human quarters where Jin was waiting. "How did it go?" she asked anxiously. "Strange," Tai answered. "They seemed surprised by everything I did, or didn't do." "What do you mean?" "They expected me to chase things, to be startled easily, to act aggressive, I guess. But when I protected one of them during a simulated emergency, they seemed completely confused." Jin's communicator beeped. She read the message and her face paled. "What is it?" Tai asked. "It's from our informant on the council," Jin said quietly. "Several council members are advocating for more than quarantine. They want Earth neutralized as a potential threat." "Neutralized?" Tay repeated. "You mean?" "Yes," Jin said grimly. "They're so afraid of us. They're discussing whether to destroy Earth entirely." Han looked out the window of the science vessel at the strange lights in space. The ship, called Seeker*, carried researchers from 12 different alien species, plus Han and Sue from Earth. They were studying a new space phenomenon in the far reaches of Earth's solar system. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Sue said, joining him at the window. "The captain says it's a rare type of energy field." Han nodded. "I still can't believe they let us join this mission." Ambassador Thelos said it was a good chance to observe humans in a scientific setting. Sue replied, though I noticed they still watch us carefully. The ship's alarm suddenly blared. Red lights flashed in the hallway. All crew to emergency stations. The captain's voice called over the speakers. Unknown vessels approaching. This is not a drill. Han and Sue ran to the bridge. Chaos greeted them. The captain, a tall astrary like Thelos, was giving orders. On the main screen, 3 small black ships moved toward them. Pirates, the navigator said, voice shaking. Space pirates. Han had heard about them from Jin. They were rare in the mostly peaceful galaxy, but dangerous. They attacked ships for their technology and resources. Evasive maneuvers, ordered the captain. Prepare defense shields. The ship turned sharply. Han grabbed a rail to stay standing. The pirates followed, moving faster than the science vessel. A blast hit the ship. The bridge shook violently. The captain fell, hitting his head hard on the control panel. Captain down. Someone shouted. The other alien crew members froze. Han looked around in confusion. No one moved to help the captain. No one took command. They all seemed paralyzed with fear. What's happening? Han whispered to Sue. Remember what we learned, she whispered back. Most of these species evolved as prey animals. Their instinct when facing danger is to freeze or run. Another blast rocked the ship. Alarms blared louder. We need to do something, Han said. He moved to the captain's chair. Sue, check the captain. Is he alive? Sue knelt beside the fallen alien. Yes, but badly hurt. Han looked at the scared crew. I'm taking temporary command, he said firmly, unless someone else wants to. No one moved. Okay. Navigator, what are our options? The navigator, a small 4-armed alien, blinked rapidly. We can't outrun them. Then we don't run, Han decided. Weapons officer, does this ship have any defenses? As small lasers for clearing space debris, stuttered the weapons officer. Not meant for fighting. It'll have to do, Han said. Sue, can you operate it? Sue nodded and moved to the weapons station. Everyone else, secure yourselves. This might get rough. Han studied the pirate ships on the screen. They were circling like wolves around prey. They expect us to run straight ahead, he said. So we'll do something else. Navigator, on my mark. Cut engines, then fire reverse thrusters at full power. The navigator looked confused but obeyed. Now, Han ordered. The ship stopped suddenly, then shot backward. The pirates, not expecting this move, flew past them. Sue, target their engines, Han ordered. Sue fired the small lasers with precision. One pirate ship spun out of control. Another took damage to its weapons. The third ship turned to attack again. Send a distress signal to the council, Han told the communications officer. Then channel all power to the front shields. The pirate ship fired. The Seeker shook, but held together. Now ram them, Han ordered. The navigator gasped. Ram them. But do it. The science vessel surged forward, smashing into the pirate ship with its reinforced front hull. The pirate ship's lights flickered and went dark. After a tense minute, the remaining pirates retreated. The bridge was silent. The alien crew stared at Han and Sue with a mix of fear, confusion, and gratitude. You fought them, the navigator finally said. You didn't run or hide. Of course not, Sue replied. They threatened our ship. But you seemed to enjoy the fight, another crew member said nervously. Han shook his head. We didn't enjoy it. We did what was necessary to protect everyone. As council ships arrived to help, Han noticed the alien crew still keeping their distance from the humans. Their fear had mixed with a new emotion Han couldn't quite name. Respect, perhaps, but tinged with horror. The humans had saved them all. But in doing so, they had confirmed the aliens' worst fears about Earth's predators. Jin sat alone in the small room given to her in the council building. Her computer screen glowed in the dim light as she searched through files that Caro had secretly shared with her. What she found made her blood run cold. "This can't be right," she whispered to herself. The door slid open. Jin quickly closed the files and turned around. Caro stood in the doorway. "You found it, didn't you?" he asked. Jin nodded. The Vex, another predator species like humans. They were destroyed. Caro entered the room and closed the door. Yes, 300 years ago, the council voted for what they called preventative action. They killed an entire species. Jin's voice shook with anger and fear. The council offered them a choice first, Caro said. Genetic modification to remove their predator instincts or containment on their homeworld forever. And they refused both. Yes, the Vex said changing their nature would destroy who they were as a people. They chose to fight instead. Caro looked down. They lost. Jin stood up and paced the small room. And now some council members want to do the same to Earth. The news of what happened on the science vessel has spread, Caro said. Many see it as proof that humans are too dangerous. You attacked the pirates directly. You rammed their ship. Such actions seem excessive to most council species. We saved the crew. Yes, but your methods frighten them. Caro sat down. Most council species would have hidden, called for help, or surrendered valuable items to avoid conflict. Jin thought about this. Is that why space pirates exist at all? Because most species won't fight back. Caro nodded slowly. The peaceful nature of most spacefaring species has created gaps in our defenses. The pirates know that most ships will surrender rather than fight. It is the same with many problems we face. So the galaxy needs predators sometimes, Jin said, but fears them too much to accept them. That is the paradox, Caro agreed. And there is something else you should know. Something bigger than pirates. He pulled out a small device and showed Jin a star map. Far at the edge of the galaxy, several stars glowed red. What am I looking at? Jin asked. Systems that have gone silent in the past 50 years. No communication, no trade, nothing. Our scouts found only empty planets stripped of resources. What happened to them? We call them the Harvesters, Caro said grimly. Machine intelligences created long ago by a now extinct species. They consume resources and make more of themselves. Our defenses have been ineffective. Why are you telling me this? Because the Harvesters were created by a predator species like yours. They think like hunters, and we need someone who understands hunter thinking to fight them. A knock at the door interrupted them. An aide entered and handed Jin a message. The council has called an emergency session, Jin said after reading it. News about the science vessel incident has reached them. They're going to vote on Earth's status. Caro stood up. This is our chance. The council fears humanity, but they've just seen proof of your value too. Will that be enough? It depends, Caro said. Jin, your people must show that predator instincts can protect rather than threaten. You need to convince them that Earth's evolutionary path makes humans the guardians the galaxy needs, not monsters to be feared. Jin gathered her notes and straightened her jacket. How do I do that? By reminding them that in nature, predators don't just kill. They maintain balance. Without wolves, deer overpopulate. Without sharks, ocean ecosystems collapse. Caro moved toward the door. Without humans, the galaxy may fall to the Harvesters. As they walked to the council chamber, Jin thought about Earth's history. Humans had caused much harm, but they had also protected the weak, fought for justice, and sacrificed for others. Maybe being predators isn't all we are, she said quietly. No, Caro agreed, but it is a strength the galaxy desperately needs right now, whether the council is ready to admit it or not. The emergency council meeting had just begun when the large screens around the chamber suddenly lit up. Static filled the screens, then cleared to show an alien face. The alien had gray skin and 4 eyes. Blood ran down its face. "This is Outpost Zeta 9, the alien gasped. "We are under attack. The harvesters have broken through the outer systems. They—" A loud crash came from behind the alien. Fear filled its eyes. "They're here. Please send help." There. The screen went black. The council chamber erupted in panic. "Order!" shouted Thelos, hitting a button that made a loud chime. "We must have order." Slowly, the room quieted. Commander De, who had been invited to the meeting along with Jin, stood up. "What exactly are these harvesters?" he asked. Thelos looked at the other council leaders, who nodded. It was time for the truth. "The harvesters are machines," Thelos explained, "created long ago by a species called the Mrolm. The Mrolm were, like humans, predators. They built the machines to mine resources, but programmed them to be efficient above all else." "Too efficient," added another council member. The machines decided that all organic life was inefficient. They turned on their creators first, then began spreading. "Why haven't we heard of this threat before?" Jin asked. "The harvesters stay at the edges of known space," Thelos said. "We've contained them for centuries. But now, they're advancing faster than ever." Day studied the star maps that appeared on the screens. They showed the path of the harvesters' advance. "These attack patterns," he said suddenly, "they're not random." "What do you mean?" asked Thelos. "They're hunting," Day said simply. "Look at how they move. They're using classic predator tactics. Cut off escape routes. Target the weak. Separate victims from the group." The council members looked at the maps with new fear. "He's right," Karo said. "They think like the predators who made them. And that's why your defenses fail," Da continued. "You're thinking like prey. Hiding, running, setting up barriers. But against a hunter, those tactics eventually fail." "What would you suggest?" Thelos asked. "To beat a predator, you need to think like one," Daz said. "I request permission to form a human tactical team to advise your defense fleet." The council erupted again. Many members shouted their objections. Thelos called for quiet once more. "This is exactly what we feared," cried one council member. "First they offer help, then they take control of our military." "Would you rather face the harvesters alone?" Jin challenged. "The humans have shown their true nature already," another member said. "They attack the pirates directly. They will bring their violence to us all." Ta, who had been quiet until now, stood up. "You misunderstand us," he said. "Yes, we fought the pirates. Yes, we come from predators. But Earth's apex predators aren't mindless killers. They kill to eat, to protect their young, to maintain balance. They don't destroy everything in their path like your harvesters." He walked to the center of the room. "In the tests, you expected me to be aggressive toward the smaller alien. Instead, I protected him. That's human nature too. We are predators who choose to protect." The room fell silent as the council considered this. Finally, Thelos spoke. "We will vote. Do we accept human assistance against the harvesters?" One by one, the council members cast their votes. It was close, but in the end, they agreed. "Commander Da," Thelos said, "you have permission to form your tactical team. But know this, you will be watched carefully. At the first sign that Earth seeks to use this crisis for its own power, the agreement ends." Day nodded. "Understood." As the meeting ended, Jin turned to Da. "What's our first step?" "We need to teach prey how to think like predators," he said. "And we need to do it fast." Ta joined them. "The harvesters won't wait. They're hunting the galaxy now, just as Earth's predators hunted the plains millions of years ago. But this time," Jin said, "the prey have us on their side." "Move your ships here and here," Commander Day said, pointing to positions on the large star map. "Create a trap, not a wall." The alien fleet commanders looked nervous. For 3 days, Da and his human tactical team had been teaching them new ways to fight. It was not easy. The aliens wanted to form defensive lines, and protect every system. Dai wanted them to think like hunters. "We can't leave these systems open to attack," protested one commander. "You must," Dai insisted. "Make the harvesters think they found a weak spot. When they move in, our ships will attack from these hidden positions." The main screen beeped. A message from the front lines appeared. "The harvesters have changed course," reported an officer. "They're heading for the Mira system," just as Commander Dai predicted. The alien commanders looked at Da with new respect and a hint of fear. How could he understand the enemy so well? "They're following the path of least resistance," Dad explained, "like water flowing downhill, like wolves selecting the weakest deer." Meanwhile, on another deck of the command ship, Han and Sue worked with alien scientists. They studied data from previous harvester attacks. "Look at this pattern," Sue said, pointing to her screen. "The harvesters always target communication systems first, then power, then life support. They're using predator tactics too," Han realized. "Cut off the prey from the herd. Take away its ability to call for help. Weaken it before the kill." Sue nodded. "So we need to think like prey defending against predators. In nature, what works?" "Mimicry," Han said. "Some animals look like more dangerous ones. Some play dead." "Herd defense," added Sue. "Many eyes watching in all directions, the strong protecting the weak." They worked through the night, developing new defenses based on Earth's predator-prey dynamics. The next day, the combined fleet moved into position. Human tactical officers were assigned to each ship, advising the alien crews. Ta served on the lead ship with the alien admiral. "Remember," Ta told the admiral, "when the harvesters charge in, don't retreat. That's what they expect. Instead, close the trap and attack their flanks." "It goes against all our instincts," the admiral admitted, "but we will try." Hours later, the harvester fleet arrived. Just as Dai predicted, they moved toward the seemingly weak point in the defense line. "Now," Ta called. The hidden ships powered up and attacked from three sides. The harvesters, caught by surprise, lost several ships before they could react. "It's working," someone shouted. But the battle had just begun. The harvesters adjusted quickly. They formed a tight group and started firing in all directions. "They're adapting," Tai reported to Dai over the communication link. "What now?" "Change tactics," Dai ordered. "Pattern Omega. Just like we practiced." The fleet broke into smaller groups. Some ships moved forward, drawing harvester fire. Others circled behind, targeting the harvesters' engines. Han and Sue's defensive systems protected the ships from the worst attacks. The battle raged for hours. The Council fleet lost ships, but the harvesters lost more. Finally, the remaining harvester ships retreated, jumping to faster-than-light speed. The command ship erupted in cheers. It was the first major victory against the harvesters in decades. "We did it," the admiral said to Ta. "Your human tactics worked." "This time," Todd cautioned, "they'll learn and adapt. Predators always do." Back at Council headquarters, Jin received the news of the victory. She immediately took it to Ambassador Thelos. "You see," she said, "humans can use their predator instincts to protect, not harm." Thelos nodded slowly. "It seems so." Several council members who wanted Earth quarantined are now reconsidering. They fear that without humans, the harvesters might win. "And what do you think?" Jin asked. "I think," Thelos said carefully, "that the galaxy's greatest fear might also be its greatest hope. We have lived without predators for so long, we forgot their purpose in nature's balance." "Which is?" "To keep other threats in check," Thelos said. "Perhaps Earth's evolutionary path was not a mistake after all." 6 months had passed since the first victory against the harvesters. Now the final battle was about to begin. The combined fleet of council ships and newly built Earth vessels gathered near the harvester main processing hub. Commander Day stood on the bridge of the flagship, looking at the tactical display. Around him, humans and aliens worked side by side. All ships report ready, said Ta, who now served as Da's second-in-command. Da nodded. Begin Operation Wolfpack. The fleet split into 5 groups, just as wolves might separate to surround their prey. The harvesters had grown stronger too, building more ships and improving their weapons. This would not be an easy fight. First group, move in, Da ordered. The ships advanced, drawing the harvesters' attention. Then the second group attacked from another direction. The harvesters turned to face this new threat, only to be hit from yet another angle by the third group. They can't track all of us at once, Ta said, just like we planned. On a science vessel nearby, Han and Sue monitored the battle. They had created special weapons based on Earth's natural defenses. Release the parasites, Han ordered. Small robotic parasites launched from the council ships. They attached to the harvester vessels and began disrupting their systems, just as real parasites might weaken a large animal. The biologicals are ready too, Sue reported. These were not real biological weapons, but machines that mimicked how diseases spread through a population. They moved from one harvester ship to another, shutting down vital systems. Back on the Galactic Council, Jin watched the battle unfold on large screens. Beside her stood Ambassador Thelos and other council leaders. Your people fight differently, Thelos observed. We fight to win, Jin said simply. But notice we're not destroying everything. We're targeting only what we must. It was true. The human strategy wasn't to destroy all harvester ships. It was to disable the control hub that directed them. Cut off the head, and the body would fall. The battle raged for hours. Ships were lost on both sides. But slowly, the combined fleet pushed toward the center of the harvester forces. We're almost within range of the main hub, Tay reported to Da. But their defenses are still too strong. Day studied the tactical display. We need a distraction. Something big. I have an idea, Ta said, but it's risky. Tell me. Tai outlined a plan that would require several ships to make a dangerous close approach to the hub, drawing fire while others delivered the final blow. Who would lead such a mission? Da asked. I will, Ta said without hesitation. Da looked at his friend for a long moment, then nodded. Approved. Ta's small group of ships broke from the main fleet and raced toward the hub. The harvesters turned their heaviest weapons toward this new threat. In that crucial moment, Day ordered the rest of the fleet to attack the hub's now exposed weak point. The explosion was visible across the battlefield. The harvester hub shattered into 1,000,000 pieces. One by one, the harvester ships stopped moving, their controlling intelligence gone. The combined fleet had won, but the victory came at a cost. Several ships were lost, including 2 from Ta's group. Search teams found Ta's damaged ship drifting in space. He was injured but alive. 3 weeks later, the Galactic Council held a special session. Jin stood before them, no longer afraid. The Council has reached a decision, Thelos announced. Earth will be recognized as a protected world with a special designation, Defensive Evolution Preserve. Jin smiled. It was a fancy way of saying Earth's predator nature was now valued, not feared. Furthermore, Thelos continued, we have approved the Predator Accords, establishing humanity's role as defenders of the galaxy. As the meeting ended, Han stood with Sue and watched as human and alien crews mingled together. Some aliens still kept their distance, but others were learning that humans could be trusted. Do you think they understand us yet? Sue asked. Not completely, Han replied. But they're beginning to see that predators aren't just killers. In a healthy ecosystem, predators maintain balance. They protect the whole by removing threats. On a view screen above them, images from Earth appeared. Wolves running through forests, eagles soaring over mountains, and humans building cities, growing food, and reaching for the stars. The universe's deadliest predator, Sue said with a smile, turned out to be its most necessary guardian.